everyone. Welcome back. So, last time we talked about why standards matter. Now, I want to talk about which standards matter. So, every organization has policies, every team has their procedures, every leader has their expectations. But, the problem is that many leaders try to make everything equally important. When everything is important, nothing will stand out. Your team can't focus on 50 priorities at once. That's why I believe every leader should identify three non-negotiable standards. Not because, they're the only things that matter, but because they're the behaviors that define your team. So, think about your own team. If every single person consistently demonstrated just three behaviors every day, what would have the biggest impact on your culture and your results? Would it be accountability, respect, communication, ownership, professionalism, safety, whatever? Your answer, might be different than mine, and that's perfectly fine. The point isn't to copy someone else's standards. The point is to intentionally choose standards that best support your mission. So once you've identified them, communicate them constantly. Don't assume people know. Talk about them in meetings. Recognize them when you see them. Use them when you're coaching someone, and definitely reference them when you're making a decision. Eventually those three standards become part of your team's identity. But there's a part that a lot of leaders struggle with, and it's you have to enforce them. Not when it's convenient, not when someone is already on your bad side, every time and for everyone. So when the moment people see exceptions based on personality, position, or performance, the standard begins to lose its value. Consistency builds credibility. Inconsistency creates confusion. Remember, people are always watching what their leaders tolerate. If you consistently reinforce your non-negotiables, your culture becomes stronger. If you consistently ignore them, your culture is going to change anyway, just not in the direction you intended. So, for this challenge, write down your three non-negotiable standards. Then ask yourself three questions. Do they support the mission? Will they strengthen our culture? Am I willing to hold everyone, including myself, accountable to them? If the answer is yes, you have found standards worth protecting. Great teams aren't built by, trying to enforce everything. They're built by leaders who clearly define what matters most consistently and live it every day. So this is another leadership minute from Hydelogix. Better thinking, better leaders, better futures.